All right, what up, everybody? Boy, as blue as it gets. Back from the little holiday vacay. Hope everybody had a good time. Got to see the game against the Philadelphia Eagles and take it all in. Things went how they went. I mean, we know how the outcome. I'm not going to go through much of that. First half was pretty bad, pretty dry. Weren't doing much. Looked like it's going to be one of them days, man, on Christmas even. Then, second half changed up. Vito got benched. Tyrod came in, tried to come back, didn't win. So that's pretty much how it went. Uh, um, you know, the team did what they did, man. We put some heat on the Eagles, made them feel kind of shaky and shit going into the playoffs, but they're gonna play us again. So if this wasn't the get right game for them, then next week or the weeks from now could be the get right game for them still. Um, so we're gonna have to come back and with a vengeance ourselves in the next game to try to actually win or whatever. Uh, yeah, next week we got the Rams. I don't know. Might get scraped, might not. Probably will. It's Matt Stafford. We got Tyrod or maybe Tommy. There's no Daniel. Yeah, those three names right there. Tommy, Tyrod, or Daniel. What's the answer to that, right? The answer is neither. None of them. None of the above. And people seem to be getting stuck right now on whether sitting DeVito was the right call when and that how does that look? Sitting DeVito when he was doing so much of what? What? He wasn't doing much. We're not benching much by going to Tyrod for the last 2 weeks. We're not jeopardizing much going to Tyrod either because if we win the football game or not, with DeVito in the game, like so many people seem to be behind Tommy for whatever reasons, and that's good and all that. But there's no difference of who's winning the football game. I'm not worried about building this team around the third string quarterback and the second string quarterback. Are you? Are you? And you're probably in the wrong headspace. You're probably not thinking about this team holistically like you should be because it all starts at the top. And Daniel Jones is at the top of both of them. Okay. Now, whether you want to put Tommy, Tyrod, or Tyrod, Tommy, Daniel sits right there. Okay. He's the headliner, right? He's the $40+ million man. And he is going to play for this team when he is healthy if all three of them are still on this roster at the same time without any additional guy, new face there of high caliber on the roster. So that part is settled. Tyrod or DeVito, I don't care either one. It doesn't matter. I don't want either one. None of the above. Um, this fan base, man, this team, this franchise is so confused in its terribleness that it doesn't know that it's always making terrible decisions just on reflex, pretty much, is how it goes. We saw the game plan, man. It wasn't much. Questions coming to the offense being ran all this year, of course, and we have to look at it in the right context because the QB situation is really, really, really bad. And the bad part of it is both Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, and Tommy DeVito. And not them, the players themselves, of course, entirely of their skill and talent levels and things like that. Is because all three of them or none of them are really the solution to moving the team into a new phase. Okay, one is the old phase that's been here and hasn't been doing very much. Give him credit for last season and the team going to the playoffs, of course. And then the other is an older solution that's not the solution because Tyrod is 30+ years old and we're looking for somebody to lead the youth and the young fans here to really get back and captivate the younger audience. Okay, so it's not going to be Tyrod right now. I don't think that's the solution either. And Tommy DeVito, he's just not good enough. Okay, whether he's just as young as Daniel and not as talented as Tyrod does not matter. Okay, because um, he's not the solution either. Right, and we're moving on from that as well. See, all this is getting moved on from. And if you're not in the right headspace to move on from these things, then you need to get your mind right in these last 2 weeks. I think that's the topic of this video, and it's going to be a short one because there's not much to be said. Okay, there's not much hang up, confusion, dilemmas, not many dilemmas or, troubling things we have to work through and answer these questions because the answer is no. Okay. None of the above. Uh, yeah, man. I'm not surprised, but I am astonished that this franchise, fan base, and the clownery of it never ceases to exist, even when the team is 5-11 with 2 weeks to go. Even then, they still find a way to ask themselves they want to be clowns. And the answer to those questions is always a resounding sure, why not? Sure, why not? You got your lead media types out there. I'm just a low solo channel that don't get any views. But you got your main media channels who lead this type of clownery and always seem to just be at the forefront of every type of clownery decision that is made. Now, if this comes from the top and it's leaking from inside sources, to which that is what they talk about in their topics, Lord only knows. All right. But the real thing is that it's always some fucking bullshit. Always some bullshit. It was bullshit with Daniel. It was bullshit for Daniel for so many fucking years that we had to go through. And we got to the end of this guy's rookie deal, man. And we're ready to try to move on. A lot of us in the fan base, fandom, but the organization and the media types and all that shit led a whole clownery into coming into the offseason, praising Daniel for a whole bunch of stuff that was really rudimentary. Okay, rudimentary. Like my videos when I post them because I don't have any extra context in them. I don't have a flashy background and things like that yet. Rudimentary, but working on the basics. But the basics with Daniel have always been basically bad. Okay, basically not very good. So it's become a problem now where we base everything on not being better or good or just being a better of Daniel. And it's just when the bar is set too low. The bar is set too low. And that's why we get cases like Tommy DeVito coming in and being a real problem for people when Tommy DeVito, who rightfully gets benched for playing pretty poorly for the last few games, all right? Forever you want to say about the victories, yeah, but in those victories, a lot of fucking contact, a lot of stats, and the stats show that Tommy is okay, maybe by some metrics, but by the gross outcome, it's not very good, man. Okay. The net was a W. The gross is not very much. Okay. So that's the problem with Tommy. And it came to the forefront. In this last game against Philly, man, he only had 50 some odd yards going into the half, bro. He's been doing 177 on average, okay? And in the last game previous and the previous game before that, he only had like 100 yards going into the fourth quarter and passing, bro. What are we supposed to do with that? 5 minutes left and this man only got 100 yards passing. That's a problem for the offense as a whole, of course. But that's the thing we're talking about here. That's like you place Daniel Jones there. Are you going to feel, what are you going to feel? You're going to feel the same way that you've always felt about Daniel. And you should be feeling the same way about when you see Tommy's, talent levels, whatever, being displayed as it is, but the results that we get from the team, man. All right. There's not much difference there. We need something to elevate this team. Of course, not just a quarterback, but several other aspects of the team. And that's okay. We can get there when we get there. Got to finish out these last 2 weeks and do what it do. This is your boy as blue as it gets, though. And just sending this one off before the new year and wishing you all a new year happily as it can be. Because there's a lot of misery and a lot of terribleness on this team. It's been a terrible year, terrible season of football for the New York Football Giants. And we're ready to move on from it all. All right, none of the above. None of the above. Thank you. And I'm out.